All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are live. This is, a very interesting day because I've got two friends over where where we will chat about uh, the top Web3 advisors of the UAE are going to be here. The guys who have joined me backstage. Angus, please turn on your camera so I can bring you up. Uh, I'm also waiting for Sarah and Pekka to join us, and both the cameras are working fine. Let's bring both these fine gentlemen on the stage. And
All
there we
right.
are.
Here we are,
All
all four of us.
right.
Great.
Hello, everyone.
Greetings, good
Angus,
afternoon.
Lovely. Good.
Angus, you're
I'm,
driving.
I'm going to be
Are
in,
you
I'm
multi?
parking. I'm going to be with you in a
Angus,
second.
don't drive. I'm not. You're
I'm
not
not driving, I'm
capable of
parking. I'm parking.
multitasking. No, no, Angus, no. You're not capable of multitasking. No.
Great. So we'll wait for Angus to stop by and we'll bring him in.
Yes.
Pekka, how are you doing and enjoying the summer in Dubai?
Well, it's getting hot, right, and humid. Well, we all know how it is, so it doesn't matter anymore so much. But yes, so I'm doing well. Of course, crazy times we're living, and sometimes it gets a little bit on my nerves. But I try to keep calm. I'm a peaceful guy. I love everything peaceful in the world. I love love and I love peace. So this is really a little bit difficult for me to try to understand what's happening in the world. But Dubai is one of the best places, if not the best place in the world.
Sweden or Dubai?
I'm in Dubai now.
No, I meant
Now he's asking you to choose whether Sweden or Dubai.
Oh no,
Tough
actually,
spot.
I'm well, yeah, Finland. I'm
Sorry, Finland, yeah.
Vesa's fellow countryman, and yeah, well, both jurisdictions have their pros and cons. Of course, there's no paradise in the face of the earth, but yeah. So I've moved to Dubai first time 20 years ago. So there are certain reasons that I'm still here.
Nice. Let's go. I think Sarah has a bunch of questions. So she's surrounded by the kids. I think they all are trying to peep into the laptop. Okay. Angus, you
I'm with you.
parked.
I'm with you. I'm
I
here.
said you parked at.
Yes, I'm
Yes, Angus.
100%. I'm here. Can you hear me? I hear you clearly. I hear you clearly.
Yes. So Pekka just said that he moved 20 years ago to Dubai. How long ago did you move to Dubai? I kind of remember the number, but I'll let you spill the beans.
26 years ago.
Oh, you beat me easily.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but I agree with what Pekka said. It's the best place in the world, and I still, I think we're in a period of transition and conflict, but I think we'll rise strong out of this. I'm very bullish. I was here in the last two crises, so in 2000 and 2008, and I think we'll come through this time. And it's like the world's never been more connected. I came here because of the build out of Web1 infrastructure, because of the internet, and connecting people. And here we are now in the world of Web3, Web4, whatever you want to call it, AI. So looking forward to this discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. But then let's find out from both of you first before we dive into Web3, since you guys have spent 20 and 26 years respectively in a city that I call the best city in India and the best city in the world. Right? So what do you think has changed? Let's begin with that. Pekka, I'll begin with you, since you're a tad bit junior to Angus.
Yeah. Well, I don't know really. Junior from that perspective, I'm a few years less in Dubai than Angus. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit. I'm not old, but I've born quite early, so that's my thing. So well, of course, Dubai 2006. Those days, Dubai was totally different. Marina, where I've lived now in more than 10 years now, stayed here. I love Marina. That was just a big hole. They started to build that location that time, And the one major thing, by the way, if you compare those days and these days, when you went to meetings, we were bringing the digital signage business from Europe here for hospitals and pharmaceutical sector. And when we went to the local companies to introduce what we did, the top management and owners, they didn't speak English. So that was interesting time that time, an interesting thing that time. Because of, but quite soon these started to change because UAE they made one very clever move earlier, that they let these good young bright minds to go to study the big universities in the world, and the system how it went. They graduated their master's degrees, doctor's degrees, and so forth. But the plan was, because they were funding everything, the government, they moved back. And quite soon we recognized that these guys are leading, managing these companies, semi-government, government, public sector, private sector, and then everything changed. So that was kind of a big momentum when Dubai started to become really international.
Interesting to know that, because I've heard some amazing stories. Angus, if you could turn on your camera, I would like to bring you up. I've been in Dubai since 2021, and I first came to Dubai in 2017. I love the way Dubai has grown, but if there's one guy who I know can drive in Dubai without GPS, is hands down Angus. And I have no idea how he does it, but he absolutely does it. So all the credit goes to Angus. Angus, tell us, how is your, how's your how are things transitioned in front of you? Like how Pekka said, when he first came in, Marina was just a big, massive hole. What about you, Angus?
Well, I think, can you hear me okay? The
Perfect.
things that have changed, the question was, what's changed? Where are we now in 2026, right? The whole world is connected. The supply chains are connected. Everything's connected on new and old payment rails, communications. And, I did my degree thesis originally on AI. And it's funny, back in the 1990s, how Dubai has become the city of Silicon Valley of the future. I call Dubai the Silicon Valley of the future in terms of human-to-human relationships, connectivity, and technology adoption. And it makes it very topical for it to be a main hub. And even in these times of conflict and choked supply chains, we're going to see out of this how things shape up for humanity worldwide in the next 5 years. This is going to shape what we're living now, is going to shape the future. Technology on the one hand, with AI, and all the opportunity and threats that brings, and also what's happening on payments, connectivity, all the way through to supply chain and commodities. It's going to affect everybody. And it's and the good thing is we've got the right balance here. The great thing is we're at the balance point. So that's my take on it. And compared to when I came here, it was just back then, it was just building out Web1 infrastructure in terms of where we were, logistics and supply chain. Now we have full-on intellectual thought leadership, universities, health, and government policy direction, which is world leading.
Interesting. I on my second trip to the UAE, Dubai in 2018, I actually met someone who had been here since like 27 years, and they said that back in the day, the UAE law was that you couldn't construct anything longer than the emirate of the mosque, right? The is the word emirate or the tower, right, of the mosque, and that is why uh, people would actually look at the mosque and find the direction when they went out to desert safari and like to come back. And then later came World Trade Center, which was actually breaking a big myth, saying that you cannot have a building or any tower longer than the minaret of the mosque. So those are very interesting times where now we have the tallest building in the world, we have the tallest hotel in the world, we have like the best of the best infrastructure that the world has to offer in one single city, which is unbelievable. And I'm glad that I have veterans like both of you, and we would we would love to learn more in terms of how the advisory game has changed, specifically in Web3, where now everything is moving to AI. Angus and I, we had a quick call about 20 minutes ago, and I want to talk about, is Web3 advisory dead? Angus, let me begin with you. What do you think?
Web3 advisory is just about new ways of doing things and solving some of the same old problems that need to be solved. But we have new technology, and I think it's more than ever with, as we were discussing before, in some countries we've got high adoption of Web3 or crypto or blockchain technology, and in some countries we've got low adoption, but worldwide it's definitely less than 5%. Worldwide adoption might only be 2% compared to mobile adoption. And I think what's going to happen with payments and infrastructure in particular, and with new regulations, we're all going to see it happening in real time in the next 18 months, because the new payment rails of the future are getting built out. So as long as that advisory is built around the new laws and regulations coming out, it's going to grow exponential. The same advisories, whether you're looking at a business model, a product, whether you're looking to solve a problem in a new way using new technology, you've still got to apply the same growth principles to the past. And we just have new techniques and new methods to achieve that now. So I think actually it's more relevant than ever before, and it's more challenging because that we're in a lot of people would argue a crypto bear market at the moment. But I think what's happening on the institutional side of things is going fast, as we all see, is going faster than ever. So if people are conversant, what I always say, be conversant with the law, can be conversant with regulations, be conversant with traditional best practice, and use the new technologies of AI and all the opportunities because the challenge is going to be in the future, you won't need to have the pyramid type company structure. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to use bots and agentic AI to develop their customer operations and support, to use their development. A lot of the development what we're doing is using our agents, and robotics is here right now. And this is all part of the vision. So I think the UAE gives us a perfect blueprint already through all the government policy and direction that they are doing to foster the best advisory type services without people being harmed, whether they be children, whether they be innocent individuals, whether they be newbies, I think, or whether it's companies, and we're talking about doing B2B advisory work. I think the opportunity will grow. And for those that offer the best advice overall, it's going to become a bigger opportunity because there's going to be more adoption. The difference is the traditional Web3 approach is going to merge with traditional fiat banking system approach and regulations around identity and KYC and AML. That's the only caveat I put in there, which is an opportunity. And so I think it's more relevant than ever before because more people are going to use it, but they may not realize the technology. It's not so much about the technology. It's more about the rules, regulations, and the overall business model.
I slightly would like to differ, but then let's take Pekka's understanding also.
First of all, it's important to define Web3. And when I first came across with the idea of Web3, we were still living in the utopia of everything decentralized, because we were thinking of that we are building something that is kind of own universe itself. But quite soon we understood that if we want to be something important for society, individuals, companies, corporates, countries, governments, we need to collaborate. And that was something, the moment that we understood that, okay, we don't manage without two major things. And Angus and myself, we've been on Web 1, Web 2, and so forth. And before the web, when Web 1 was transforming itself to Web 2, two major things happened. First of all, the regulations came on board. And when they came on board, big money joined. And that was the turning point. The technology was already there. And then we had these clever guys who are now stealing our data. And that's another story. But the same things started to happen actually 2024, late 2023, I'd say, when Big Larry made 180 turn on his speeches. Big Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. And he started to speak that all the assets will be tokenized. That was the turning point. But that was also to kind of turning point how I see Web3 today. I leave still on this comment, I will leave AI out of what I'm going to explain later.
No, Pekka, you cannot give AI away from the conversation because
no. But okay. I can dive deep on the deep end immediately if you want. But let's speak first on Big Larry's the big moment in our industry, and that was when Big Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, introduced to the world that all the assets will be tokenized, and quite soon, actually, 20th of March, 24, they launched Butle, which was the first tokenized fund running on Ethereum, running on public blockchain. And that's the infrastructure that will conquer the world little by little. And it's happening very, very fast. But we need to understand that this is totally regulated, totally licensed, the way that is not supposed to be the Web3 in the beginning, because the asset on top of that is a security. It's a security token running on public blockchain. And this is the infrastructure, what we are doing today, and everybody's talking RWAs. My biggest things today, what I'm advising now on Web3, they are RWAs and stable coins and decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Everything is related to the big picture, now what we're doing in the world. And my thesis is here that the next big upgrade of an internet will be distributed ledger technology, internet, which is public blockchain. On top of that, you build anything you want. But there are certain benefits that world is rushing towards this direction. And then AI layer is very important. I'm happy to say my views on, but let's Angus continue here if you want.
I want to bring everyone's notice here, since Pekka mentioned Larry Fink from BlackRock. Lane Flock, can't pronounce his name correctly, the CTO of BlackRock, in 2021, he said that he will fire anybody from his team if they buy Bitcoin. Can you imagine that, right? How they have flipped in terms of their views, in terms of the way they do it. It is unbelievable. But Sarah, over to you for your next question.
Yes, Angus, you have actually advised a lot of startups. I just wanted to know that the startups that you have advised or you have seen or you have come across, what do you think? How does the startup fail? Is it because of an incompetent CEO or because of a toxic community?
Good one.
How does a startup fail? It goes back to some basics, really basics. They might blame it on running out of money, but let me give 4 or 5 points to answer that question, Sarah. So if you get the right team and they're thinking Z to A type planning, thinking from the end state to the present state, that certainly helps. A lot of people start without understanding where they're going, like sailing a ship on the ocean. They start, but they don't know where they're going to. So they really got to be understanding where the destination is and think from the destination back to the beginning. I think, as I said in my opening, traditional best practice and business model is very important. I think that, people run into things as first-time entrepreneurs without the appropriate coaching, mentoring, and best practice advice. That's another reason why it happens. And sometimes people get fixated with the tech without actually thinking about the product. Web3 is a classic thing. In the beginning of the internet, we had, and now when you think about it, the 1990s, we had all that consolidation. The same thing's happening on blockchain. I do agree with many of the things that has been said by Pekka that, Web3 or blockchain has really been an incubation hub for the major institutions doing real world asset tokenization. We're going to tokenize everything. But that means everything is regulated, everything is centralized, and it goes against the whole ethos of DeFi, which is really, I'm a DeFi guy, but the world is, I always realized in my first career, we're always going to be centralized. So it's so why do people fail? They fail because they haven't got enough gas in the tank, because they didn't really think about how they're going to spend their funds appropriately, and they need to get growth, and they need to and they need to think about revenue in many cases, or adoption. If you think about adoption, think about growth, think about revenue, think about the business model, and work backwards to the actual budget that you've got to do to get cash flow positive, or get your tokenomics right to get to a point where you're going to achieve things. I just can't help thinking the next bull run is not going to be different from it's going to be completely different from the past. We're seeing it already, in my opinion, that only 4 or 5 of the current protocols tokens are going to excel. I just see a lot of the other things that have built up large treasuries and funds will just die because they're not reinventing and not innovating, and because they're not being practical and understanding that the regulations, unfortunately, are going to control things, or fortunately. Some people say it's fortunately. If you look at what's happening with Genius and Clarity Act in the US, and potentially being able to offer interest on stablecoins, that's going to flatten the world, but it's going to make sure everything is tracked and traced. So, Sarah, to answer your question, it's more about the people question should be the least of any business, because you should be in a team of people that are going to last the journey with you from the beginning. And you should be coached also just on running a high performance team. And most people run into a project and they form a team, storm the project, norm the product, and they don't really think about how they're going to get to transforming. And actually it's the same in all technology innovation I've been involved with over the past 30 to 40 years. There's going to be a lot of fallout because it's high risk and high reward for the investors. And a lot of people are first-time entrepreneurs. I've fallen victim of it myself, where when you're an entrepreneur for the first time and not on a salary, then you should be very careful.
That's amazing. Becca, I would like to come to you. You mentioned that we had to learn about Web 1, then we came to Web 2, and then Web 3. I just wanted to know your take on whether the concept of financial literacy is failing to keep up with Web 3 these days.
This is a very good question and quite complicated thing to answer, because the way this will be is executed already today and is fast developing towards a certain direction. And that is, I know Angus has a huge experience on AI decades ago already. But by the way, guys, I have a tiny little detail for you. Have a guess. When was the first AI conference kept in the world that happened in New York? What year was that?
2017.
Vali?
I would say pretty early. I would say maybe in late 1990s.
1956.
Wow.
So of course that was theoretical thing, that the concept of everything, because we didn't have any internet, we didn't know that even PCs that time yet. But the concept was people's bright minds started to think about this kind of opportunities and automating using data. But anyways, so AI is not a new thing. But now, Sarah, to your question, definitely. But I need to keep my core thesis on everything I want to say today, and everything what I do in the industry, because it's related to this the fact that again is developing fast, that AI layer is the key, but the AI layer only survives, or let's put it this way, we can secure, as humans can secure AI serving us only if it runs on top of certain technology. And this technology is public blockchain, because there needs to be a software controlling software, and this is a compatible system already today. But how this is executed today, last summer, it was last summer, I believe, the base protocol launched X402, which is the agentic AI transactions, which is combination of Web2. They're still running on Web2 HTTP servers, but the finality of the transactions happen on blockchain. So that's, and for example, Visa executed in Q1 this year more than 200 million transactions on this particular infrastructure. So it's happening already today, and those are the micropayment type of things. And it's the first time in the world when internet actually accepts kind of free transactions type of thing, which is combination. But the main thing is that this is the infrastructure where agentic AI agents can be controlled with another application, which is smart contract. And this is the future also where payments are going. And the Angus is a professional in AI, and he can explain huge details of where we are today with agentic AI and AI overall. And AI agents are taking the any and every business. But because they are developing so fast, they will become so autonomous all the time. So we need to have mechanisms to build a whole ecosystem that we as humans will have say what will happen on this infrastructure, on these systems. And the only mechanism is definitely first combination of Web2 and Web3, like X402 has been executed and planned and executed. And this is the future which is happening already today. And so that's my main message when people are asking me, what will happen to Web3? What will happen to internet? And next big upgrade of an internet will be public blockchain-based internet, where smart contracts or similar systems and smart contracts. Angus is right. We don't know if smart contracts will be there. We have Canton already. That is a big system. The banks and the financial institutions are using Canton, and there's no smart contracts anyways. But it's not so public. It's not so open. But we don't know where it's going. But to me, it is clear. Web3 is the system which is based on public blockchain protocols and AI running on top of that. That's the next big upgrade on the internet.
Great. Angus, since you're here, and I've known Angus for a while. Angus and I, Angus is a very, very dear friend of mine. Angus, I need to understand this from you, that do you think, when you advise various projects, when they don't take your suggestions or your advices seriously, how do you respond, or how do you figure this out, right? Because at the end of the day, the project success is very important for your reputation. A project success is also very important for the way it grows on you. So Angus is saying I'm on mute. Angus, I'm talking to you. Did you hear what I said?
But unfortunately not. Now I hear you clearly.
Okay, great. So I'll repeat my question. And the thing is that, since I know you personally and I know the projects that you have been advising, but what happens when a project founder doesn't want to take your suggestion or your advice seriously, or they don't want to follow the framework that you have given? How do you think, what's the way ahead during that time?
First of all, respect for everybody. So everybody's got their own point of view, and the most successful people are often the most single-minded people. So, I mean, if we look at Elon Musk, the way he focuses on things, or Steve Jobs, founders always know, so you can't tell them it's their right. And I respect their right to have their point of view. But if you're advising them, then you need to find somebody that's going to value the advice you're going to give, and they're going to actually at least use you as a sounding board and take the advice on board. So that the human to human part of it's critical. We better be bringing value and have relevance to what they're doing. That's some people are going to be successful despite it and in spite of it, because they have strong self-will and are single-minded. I always respect that, but sometimes that's the exception rather than the norm. 1% is going to be successful. Probably the other 99% are not going to benefit from the best practice advice they're going to get. But it's on a case-by-case basis, because a lot of it comes down to Sarah's earlier question about personality. And people tend to do business with people they like, and sometimes they'll avoid people that give tough love, criticism, and feedback. Sometimes the harshest criticism and advice you can get is the most valuable advice. So that's more of a human question than a business question or a Web3 centric answer for you.
No, because
Pekka, I would like to add on. Sorry, go ahead, Ali.
Go ahead.
It's a similar question, Pekka, for you. Like, for example, if a Web3 project collapses or people get scammed, then the industry default defense is that people need to get more educated. As an educator, what do you think? Is this a fair statement, or just it's a shift or a shield to blame away from what the project has done?
No. Let me
Okay.
share Angus's thoughts on this particular thing that hasn't changed on whatever technology we are talking about, whatever version of the internet we are talking about. 99% of startups will fail. There can be different reasons, but one of the major reasons, of course, the capital, which was kind of a little bit crazy thing when ICO time started with us. But again, you need to develop something that makes sense. You need to understand that you have a user base. You give the profile that you are developing that to will benefit of your whatever product, application, hardware, whatever it is, they will benefit. It doesn't matter what the technology is all about. That's the thing. And that's where the advisory comes to the picture with Angus and myself. We want to solve these problems for the startups to actually sell what's the reason for this, whatever you do, that somebody's interested in it, even wants to invest in it or be part of the community. And of course, the community thing is different on today's internet than it was in early days, because the user base is so big. And that's really something that is important to understand. And I'm not so much last 2-3 years, not so much been into so early projects. When I'm more and more focusing on the RWAs, decentralized physical infrastructure, and also when we're talking about DPINs, the decentralized physical infrastructure networks, which we are decentralizing GPUs, chips, and the major project what we have now in Southeast Asia, we are decentralizing real-time reporting mechanisms on ESG, which is the environment and social and governance systems, which is now by law. Every company needs to have the reporting system, so that the last day of this, actually it's Monday, Sunday. So that's happening, so growing so fast. Why I'm saying these are the technologies, they're kind of a new approach to solve the major problems. And then if I've been lucky to be part of these kind of platforms and applications that are solving the real problems. And that also comes to the fact that whatever bright minds are developing some business, whatever it is, if you don't have a clear understanding what benefits it brings to the markets, the customer base that you are bringing it to and targeting to, it doesn't fly. And that's maybe something that also Angus has experienced, that you cannot advise these guys if the fundamentals are so wrong, if they are developing the best software in the world, best application in the world, and maybe some problems on the business side of it, it doesn't fly, and that's it. The companies will die.
Angus, are you there? I would like to
No,
ask the next person. Okay, he's not there.
Angus had to leave due to an emergency, so we only have Pekka to grill and to ask him all the questions now.
So Pekka,
I'm
as
with you.
an advisor
I'm with you.
also.
I am with you guys. No problem.
Thank you, thank you. So Pekka, I just wanted to ask this to both, that is Angus and you. Like you've met a lot of projects, you've met a lot of founders, startups, or already established projects. So when you meet them and they want you on board and they start pitching the project or talking about the project to you, what is the single biggest red flag a founder can show you in a first meeting?
Unrealistic thinking of the opportunities, and the basic fundamentals are not there. Just like I just mentioned a little while ago, that it's clear business fundamentals. Whatever technology we're talking about, whatever business sector we are talking about, you need to solve the problems that this technology, this environment ecosystem is facing. And if you will have the right angle on this particular thing, then you create your business model. You business model can direct sales, whatever it can be, public blockchain based of type of thing that you still provide the opportunity to people join your community with the purchasing token and provide the security on validating the transaction and so forth. But there needs to be a clear understanding the benefits what this bring to the ecosystem that you bring into.
That's amazing. Oh, so if, for example, if someone loses their money in the space of crypto, and then people start blaming them that you need to go through everything, you shouldn't have just put your money into by just looking at someone else. So if you find someone who comes and talks to you about it, what would you tell them? What is a lesson that you would give them who wants to make another million or another few thousands, a couple of thousands in meme tokens or in Bitcoin? What is the suggestion that you would give them?
Bitcoin, not meme coins.
So what would be your the first few suggestions or
Well,
the basic
again,
one?
right. First of all, you shouldn't invest in anything that you don't understand. You need to understand what this platform application, what they try to solve, who they are bringing it to. That's why the meme coin is a little bit far away from my understanding of solving problems. but then of course the basic research, always do your own research on the basic things. Understand the team, what they've done before. Are they visible to? Are they open on public? Can you call them and contact them? These basic things that any business should have. And then that's the starting point. And then try to understand, of course, and now AI comes to the picture. So it's so easy today to analyze the white papers, analyze the team, and it takes 2 or 3 minutes, and you get answers of all these critical questions. So it's a little bit crazy to understand, to even try to do things, this kind of analysis, without using AI. And it's a blessing that we have this today, because I believe that people more and more will use it for the right reasons, and this kind of research type of thing, which is again, I'm using so much AI agents today because they are my good friends. I'm chatting with them every day and challenging them, and they give me good advice, and sometimes I need to train them a little bit to give me better answers. But this is the where we're going, and when we think about the crazy ICO years, when you had a crappy white paper and you collected 10 million, 20 million, and then the taillight guarantee on your business. So I'm happy to say that these days are over. And I'm sorry that Angus needs to leave this great podcast, but he mentioned the very, very important thing. Regulations, licensing, we need to have them with us. And then when you are investing in the business that is regulated and licensed, it's a kind of a secure thing from certain perspective already, that lawmakers and licensors are now approving this. So it's a legal system. It's a legal application platform. On top of that, you do your research. How does it manage towards the competition and so forth? So that is the status where we are today. And Dubai is so advanced when it comes to regulations and licensing, and also Abu Dhabi.
What do you feel if we are talking about regulations and licensing? Do you think heavy government regulations protect the everyday user, or does it completely kill the foundational spirit of a crypto project or
Very good.
a founder?
Very good question, Sarah. First of all, if you think how this layered internet today is being regulated, it's a little bit funny thing that individually there are practically no virtual asset cryptocurrency that is regulated anywhere. Not Ethereum, Bitcoin, they are not regulated in Dubai. They're not even regulated in USA. You can buy it on the regulated way when they are wrapped on regulated wrapper, like ETF. But there's a centralized organization that guarantees you that they manage this token inside of it, and you can buy it from them, and they for the custody for it, and which is so far away from Bitcoin white paper. But if you think how this will be executed as business, there are two major things to understand. If you want to purchase any of these cryptos, purchase them only from regulated platforms. And the regulations and needs to be, these platforms, they need to be regulated by jurisdiction. That's the simple, easy way to understand how you can access unregulated assets, these virtual assets. And then if you think again, this layer thing, now BlackRock, even JP Morgan was a really big guy. The James Dimon was so against us, and still is kind of, but they're also already today using the public blockchains. So this decentralized public blockchains is the foundation of when these already big money regulated systems are built on. And if you understand how these public blockchains actually functions, how they provide the security, how they provide the trust in the system, not for third parties, all the borderless transactions, immutability, all these kind of things. It's based on a software that has been heavily tested. And of course, with Ethereum, I joined this phenomenon checking the white paper, the Ethereum white paper 2016. But then these best public blockchains, they are so secure. And the good thing for you is because they are permissionless, which means that if you want to join them, providing the security, providing the opportunity to validate transactions, you deposit your crypto on these platforms. And when it's on a blockchain, they give you yield. And that is the mechanism. That's why when I'm again saying this layered system, on top there are security tokens at the moment, for example, real world assets. And then there are maybe some other utility tokens like governance tokens that can be in the picture, but they are quite difficult to regulate still. And then there's the fundamental layer is public blockchain. And because they are permissionless, you can join them, no questions asked. You just join them based on the terms and conditions that you need to accept. And in some cases, you can immediately withdraw your coins and tokens if you want, and or keep them there, and they generate you yield, which is passive income. So that's the system we have today. So regulations are coming little by little, and I see that quite soon we will have individual cryptos also regulated, at least those best ones, as independent individual assets, which they are not yet today. But based on this layered structure, what we have on Web3, or this next version, going to the next version of the internet. So that's my kind of a long answer to your question.
That's an amazing one. So along with this, I would like to add on. See, Dubai is praised globally as a crypto-friendly paradise, but critics also claim that it becomes a sanctuary for failed founders and projects running away from the Western regulations and building real utility. So, what do you feel? Are we actually getting in projects which are helping our ecosystem grow, or it's just a glamorous shelter for regulatory refugees?
I'm also quite much related to this market in crypto assets, MiCA purchase in EU, and we are not even close to that type than MiCA is. Not even close. If and from that perspective, we just need to have a reality check. If, for example, you don't get license from VARA, there's one place you can look at it. Check the mirror; it's there. So the good thing with VARA is that they are open-minded and they want to help you. They want to advise you. You can reach them. You can contact them. You can have lunch or dinner with them. So they really help you out. And for example, I'm now with one major project that we're just about to get the license from VARA now, which all the paperwork is done. It's just putting things together. I've been with this thing quite many months already. So I have a hands-on experience. I have hands-on experience also when it comes to MiCA. And MiCA license, which is like virtual assets only type of license, they are practically banking license. The banking licenses. So this it's really tough project, and it really takes time. But again, if you think that this is they are saying they are now taking care of the user rights, private investors. They want to make sure that this is according to fact that these guys need to secure that there are no big risks other than financial risk when you do crazy investments like futures and derivatives type of things. And if that's the case, then you have these options to still use the centralized platforms, regulated licensed ones, trade there. Quite many of them they provide you all kinds of services, even futures and derivatives with a huge leverage and regulated ones. Or you can, if you want still to be part of the ecosystem, why don't you invest how much you want, how much risk you want to take? It's only little risk. If you invest like Ethereum or Solana, these big layer ones, your own token, you stake them there on blockchain. You're not staking necessarily on the platforms, but or centralized exchanges, but stake them on blockchain. And of course, it is not so easy mechanism yet because you need to have these wallets that you are provide the custody yourself, which is another little bit interesting thing because they are not regulated yet anywhere. But that is, if you understand this, it's a controlling, understand your risk level, what kind of risk you want to have, and we are in Dubai. We are in good hands. And I need to disagree with people who say that we are over-regulating, we are too tight on things. No, we are just doing it right. And again, when this technology will develop further, it will become a little bit more loose because of this technology handles more and more these things. For example, we will have know your customer process, anti-money laundering things. They will be on chain also, and AI will help them also. And the AI layer again on public blockchain will be in the picture maybe 1, 2, 3 years. And then we have these automated mechanisms also on KYC, AML, which is a system that is built on, again, public blockchain.
True. That's an amazing take. Thank you so much for sharing. Now it's a fun one. So I just wanted to know, what is the future of learning? So will the next generation learn about blockchain through academic advisor, or they will learn through the crypto agent AIs?
Maybe you're
Where do you
talking
think
already.
they will do it?
Maybe you're talking to Pekka Robot already. I don't know. But yeah, surely this is the thing that AI agents are developing so fast. I'm using AI agents every day, not just models but also AI agents. For example, if I'm trying to solve something, I chat with my my AI agents, and my AI agents are helping me to write a perfect prompt that I take to the model itself, and in a few minutes time they create a perfect business plans or perfect presentations or market analysis or whatsoever. But again, I'm quite confident that the when you are using this right way, you will have a role here. And of course, I'm also doing some experimental things with my AI agents. Just not so long ago, I asked my AI agent to develop me a automated trading bot, and he started to argue with me. He or it or she maybe started to argue with me that this is difficult job. I said, okay, I give you the parameters. And then I gave him a little parameters, and then it asked me more things, and then, okay, let's do this. And we were doing quite many days actually streamlining the systems. And now I have a fully automated trading bot developed by AI agent. And I'm just experiment. I managed to make some great trading system that even there's some profit on it, tiny little profit. I put 100 USDT on the system, which is the stable coin as US dollar. But now it's a little bit more than 100 there because it's successful trading, but it's fully automated. And if you know how to train your agent, because that's training. And the funny thing is that they really discuss with you. It is like your best friend. They argue with you, agree with you, give advice to you, and then you do the same to them. And they know more about you, you know more about them. And that is also the future where education is going. I don't see too many things on the classroom type of traditional teaching, showing some whatever slides or anything and discussing. But again, I still believe that it's very important that we have this human element on everything we do in the world. And education is definitely, if you guys are great parents with your lovely kids, they need you. You never will be replaced with any robots. So that the human element needs to be there. And anything we do, and everything. But we need to understand this, what we have. I mentioned how much it's helping me already, these agents. And everybody who wants to invest in this, they need to know how to ask, what to ask, where you go and check these AI models to get the right answers and good information. But on top of that, let's go to events and listen to you guys talking to the audience and little networking afterwards. But we need to have these face-to-face things also.
That's true. That's true.
You know, Pekka, I just want to check with you. You spoke a lot about AI agents. What is your current stack that you're using on AI agents?
I'm not sure how much you know, but I'm mainly working with Chinese guys, and I'm using Chinese agents mainly. Gemini a little bit, ChatGPT rarely, but I'm using Manus today. I am, and I'm using DeepSeek quite much, and a couple other ones.
Yeah, so because I heavily use OpenClaw and
Oh, yeah.
Anemo. So I just want to understand the stack that you're using. I mostly use open source. I'm on Quinn 3 30B coder. What modules are you on, and what do you think is the best modules?
Claude is I'm not just getting into Claude now more and more.
Let's talk about open source, because we I just read a tweet that some founder got a bill of the API bill of $5 million because he forgot to set the limit for his employees. So let's talk about open, because these can Wow, that was a very loud car. No doubt you're in Marina.
Maybe it's Vesa's card, maybe.
But what do you think is uh, the right open source model to run these on?
Oh, first of all, I'm so sorry that Agnes needs to leave. His maybe Wally, you have more experience than me on this. But open source is a little bit different. Interesting thing. First of all, the DeepSeek is practically, of course, it runs on your browser, but it's totally open source in that sense. It's free to use. But I happen to know that DeepSeek's agentic AI has an important role in certain countries in GCC governments.
Interesting.
But they are, of course, they are because the agentic AIs, they are machine installations and not using the open public networks and the internet.
Got it. And are you using Hermes? Are you using OpenClaw, or what is your stack that you're using?
Well, no, I mentioned I'm mainly on this easy to use and the providing me nice agents like Manus and DeepSeek.
So I will. So I will call you, and then you can give me some more details, so I can try those tools too. Everybody watching here, Pekka, we have got 3 more minutes on the stream. What is your last set of suggestions to people who perhaps think that getting advisor on board can be good on the website, or perhaps they could satisfy a particular demographic criteria, and not really engage you? Because both of us have worked together on a project earlier too.
Yes.
Yes. And we have seen the way things are, and the way things happen. So what is your final suggestions to every founder who is either in AI, either in Web3? What is the golden rule that you would like to suggest there?
Develop something that will solve the problem.
Give up something
that solves the problem.
Interesting. What do you mean by that? Can you break that down for me? Like
yes. First of all, it can be security, it can be scalability, it can be UI, UX stuff, whatever it is that will enhance either something that exists or provides a total different angling and gives the opportunity to do things. For example, Canton, which was like published a little while ago, a couple of years ago, I believe they started many 2013, I believe the first version was. But they decided to go all in on institutional investors, banking sector, and they stick there. So they decided to solve the problem using this technology, which is public blockchain, but not smart contract based, totally different mechanisms to validate the transactions, and also the token launch is based only only those guys who are doing something benefits on the network. You cannot even have them anywhere else. They can sell it to you if they want, but that's what I mean. If you believe that you are solving something that some sector, some profiles will benefit from, go for it. But if you don't, stick to something else. Join some existing ones. Join the public blockchains, investing in them, getting some yields on them, and again one particular thing I'd like to point out, which is really important. I started my first online company in 1994, and that was the time when the first public internet browser was launched, Netscape, and we were fighting against all odds that we have our fax machines and landline phones, we don't need anything else, and then some technology development happened, and the most important thing, I mentioned 2 things already: the big money came on board and regulations came on board, but there was a third thing, and that was the standards on the technology. And that particular standard that built and developed a internet for us as we know it today, the Web2, TCP/IP, which is transfer protocol, But you don't need to understand how TCP/IP works. No, but you need to understand the benefits it brings to you, and that's something that I want to also explain to everybody. That try to understand this much, that how can you benefit of this beautiful infrastructure, which is Web3, going towards the more and more blockchain-based internet, and maybe some AI on top of that, which is the agent and so forth. Understand the benefits, and maybe from that perspective, if you think that you are innovator and you may, okay, I have good idea of developing something. If you're a programmer or you know programmers, maybe you can build a next $1 billion business. I don't know.
Super, Pekka. Thank you so much for your time, and
My pleasure, guys.
we would love to have you here again. And the entire idea and the entire objective is to figure out more conversations in the space of AI and the crypto. A couple of days ago, we had Yatsu and Reeve. Reeve is the co-founder of USDT, and Yat is the chairman of Animoca. The previous week, we had the co-founder of Bitcoin.com and Uncle Rockstar Dev. He's one of the OG early devs of the Bitcoin era. Next week, we are going to have Sion from Jupiter and Robinson from Wormhole. So we are going live every single day. The idea is to have interesting conversations around agentic AI, Web3, stablecoins, RWA, and the future of money. And the episode that you just witnessed is bringing the top Web3 advisors in Dubai, learning from them, understanding more. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. Pekka, thank you. Angus, if you get to watch this later,
Thank you so much, Pekka.
Thank you so much, guys, for inviting me, and let's have another round quite soon.
For sure, for sure. There's so much to speak. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great evening.